Chukotka, Russia's most remote region. Russia is definitely a vast country with territory extending to Eastern Europe and North Asia. By area, it's the largest country in the world. In fact, Russia extends across 11 time zones. Imagine a single country sharing land borders with 14 countries. When it comes to population, it is the world's 9th most populous country, while it's Europe's most populous. With such a number of time zones, Russia is divided into 85 regions. Those regions are actually the focus of this video. Chukotka is not one of the earliest names to strike your mind when visiting Russia. But did you know that Chukotka is Russia's most remote region? Let's delve into the details of that. About Chukotka. Chukotka is the easternmost federal subject of Russia, also known, albeit officially, as the Chukotka Autonomous Okrug. It is an autonomous okrug situated in the Russian Far East. For the sake of this video, however, we'll refer to this remotest region of Russia as Chukotka. It shares its western border with the Republic of Sakha, its southwestern border with Magadan Oblast, and the southern border with Kamchatka Krai. It also has a maritime border on the Bering Strait with the faraway U.S. state of Alaska. The largest town, which also doubles as the capital of the region, is Anadyr. It's the easternmost settlement in Russia to have town status. Aren't you surprised to learn that Chukotka shares a border with Alaska in the U.S.? Of course, these two locations are the closest points from Russia to the U.S. and vice versa, measuring 88.51 kilometers. Keep watching for more about the region's geographical features. History of Chukotka. The region of Chukotka, which is the northeasternmost region and Russia's most remote region, has remained the only part of Russia lying partially in the Western Hemisphere since the sale of Alaska in 1867. The first inhabitants of this region were Paleo-Siberian hunters who came from Central and East Asia. Then, the area was part of the Bering land bridge, thought to have enabled human migration to a location known as the Americas. Traditionally, Chukotka was a home to native Chukchi people and other indigenous peoples such as the Yupiks, Koryaks, Chuvans, and Yogakirs. As of 1930, the population of Chukotka was primarily Chukchi. The Russian conquest of the Kazan and Astrakhan Khanates in the 1500s opened the trade routes to Siberia, Urals, and Central Asia. Traders and Cossacks were able to move eastwards. In the 17th century's first half, Russians reached the far northeast. In 1641, the Cossacks first recognized Chukchi by making reference to them. When Russians realized that they could not easily subjugate the Chukchi by military means, they changed tactics. Russian citizenship was granted to any willing Chukchi in the Russian Empire. This was followed by a peace treaty in 1778, which exempted Chukchi from paying the tribute known as yasak. 7 years later, an expedition, led by Joseph Billings and Gavril Sarichev, mapped the Chukchi Peninsula with other areas, such as Alaska's west coast and the Aleutian Islands. Even then, Chukotka remained to a large extent outside the control of the Russian Empire. Consequently, other foreign powers, such as American, British, and Norwegian, began to hunt and started trading in the area in about 1820. So when Alaska was sold to the United States, American whalers and traders grabbed the opportunity to extend their activities into Chukotka. Subsequently, foreign influence reached its peak. By 1880, the Russians resisted that attempt by setting up coastal patrols to stop and confiscate their American ships and property. Yet Russian control of the region diminished again, and a large stream of foreigners entered Chukotka around 1900, as they were lured to the area by the Yukon Gold Rush of 1898. During the Soviet period, Chukotka was affected by the resettlement of the indigenous people. In 1991, Chukotka finally declared its separation from the Soviets and became a subject of the Russian Federation. This move, in its own right, was confirmed 2 years later in 1993 by the Constitutional Court of the Russian Federation. Geographical feature of Chukotka. The autonomous region of Chukotka covers an area of over 737,700 square kilometers, making it the 7th largest federal subject in Russia by area. Despite that vast area, it has just a little above 50,000 residents. With that, it is the second least populated federal subject of Russia. It is also the least densely populated among the list of federal subjects in Russia. Again, let's hold it there for now. We'll get back to the discussion of its population structure. The region is located mostly on a mountainous or hilly terrain. Almost everywhere in Chukotka, a severe Arctic climate permits just tundra vegetation, with some stunted forest in the south. This is due to the fact that winter on the Russian tundra, as just alluded to, is brutally cold. But the temperature is never a deterrent to reindeer herding, which is a year-round occupation. For centuries, small brigades of residents of this region have lived alongside their animals through all seasons, as tiny specks of mankind living in the ice crystal clouds formed by the breath of their thousand-strong herds. Chukotka can be divided ecologically into three distinct areas, namely the northern Arctic desert, the central tundra, and the southern taiga. About half of Chukotka area is above the Arctic Circle. The mountains increasing the elevation of this region are the Chukotsky Mountains, with Ishkodnaya as the highest point, and the Anadyr Highlands. Its rivers have the northern and central mountains as their sources. The major rivers include Anadyr River, with tributaries Belaya, Mayan, Tanyurur, Yablon, Yarapol, and Avtakul rivers. It also has Omolon and the Great and Little Anyay rivers falling west into the Kolyma River in Yakutia. Flowing north into the Arctic seas are the Rauchua, Chawan, Polivam, Pegdemel, Chegetun, and Amguyama rivers. But the largest lakes in the region are Lake Krasnoye, west of Anadyr, Lake Bakulny, and Lake Elgagitgin. Other important lakes are Lake Yoni, Kulin, Medvezhne, Pitchgin Mikgitgin, Archeon, and Mainitz. The extensive coastline has several peninsulas, with the Achim Peninsula, the Chukchi Peninsula, the Kitchik Peninsula, Cape Shelgasky, and Ruskaya Koshka as the main ones. Chukotka also has several islands. The main ones are Arkmikchechen Island, Ion Island, Big Diomede Island, Harold Island, Idlidlia Island, Ilir Island, Karkarpko Island, and Kolyuchin Island. Others are Chenkul Island, Kosa Dvuk Pilotov Island, Mosey Island, the Rutan Islands, Ranot Island, Shalaurov Island, Wrangel Island, and Serkik Gusi Islands. Islands like Idgran, Merkunkan, Achenkinkan, and Kosa Michkin are renowned for their sizes. In large parts of Chukotka, Russia's most remote region, there are carpets of moss, lichen, and Arctic plants, making it similar to western Alaska. Remember, they're neighbors. In areas around the Gulf of Anadyr, including its river valleys, there are small larch, pine, birch, poplar, and willow trees. Altogether, Chukotka is home to more than 900 species of plants, including over 400 moss and lichen, more than 200 bird species, and about 30 freshwater fish species. Chukchi's population and demography. Based on the 2010 and 2021 estimates and census, the region of Chukotka is the 82 largest of the 89 federal subjects of Russia in order of population. It was estimated to be 49,348 in 2018, but the latest census of Russia, which was in 2021, gives the population figure as 47,490. Chukotka is mainly populated by ethnic Russians known as Chukchi, but there are other indigenous peoples. Chukotka is the only autonomous okrug not included in or subordinate to another Russian federal subject since it was separated from Magadan Oblast in 1992. The Chukotka is also one of the few in Russia where men outnumber women. As of June 2022, the Chukotka Autonomous Okrug had the lowest life expectancy in Russia. Well, demographics can change from year to year in this region because of its relatively small population. Economic characteristics of Chukotka. Chukotka, as little as it is, has large reserves of oil and natural gas, huge earners for the Russian economy. It also has deposits of coal, gold, and tungsten, now being slowly mined. However, the majority of the rural population depends on subsistence reindeer herding, fishing, and whale hunting. But the urban population is employed in mining, construction, administration, cultural work, medicine, education, and other occupations. The largest employers in the region include Chukotka Mining and Geological Company, Severnoye Zoloto, Moskoye Gold Mining Company, and FSUE Chukotsnab, among others. What did you appreciate about Chukotka? You surely have enough to share in the comments section. Please let's have your thoughts as we continue this discussion right there. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.